I may do an episode all about matching because I feel like I could go in depth about that. Maybe I'll just go into it now. Surrogacy is not for everyone. Hey, I have a family or friend who I think should do surrogacy. How should I bring it up to them? Be very cautious because good morning and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk all about how to become a surrogate. A lot of times you guys will message me and say, hey, I'm done having my last baby and I think I want to become a surrogate. How do I get started? This episode is for you. I do want to preface this with saying it's about 6:30 in the morning. I'm trying to get ahead of the game and get some work done. They're doing cement work outside, so it may be a little bit loud. I put my mic on, so hopefully that helps, but just want to let you know. Okay, if you didn't already watch the requirements to become a surrogate video, go and watch that because that would be the absolute first steps if you are wanting to become a surrogate. Deciding to start surrogacy would be to see if you actually qualify. Do you meet the requirements of age, BMI, financial status, healthy pregnancy, delivery, past deliveries, past pregnancies? That is the place to start first. So you can go watch that. But today I want to talk all about how to become a surrogate, where to start, and how to move forward with that decision. I often mention that there's two different avenues that you can go to pursue surrogacy or to become a surrogate. So there is an independent journey, which means you are not with an agency. It's just you, the intended parents, kind of orchestrating the journey. And the second one is that you would become a surrogate through an agency. So there's dozens, probably hundreds of surrogacy agencies out there. And so when you go through an agency, they help you through the process. They give you support. They are that middleman, that connection between you, the fertility clinic, intended parents, the doctor, and they help facilitate that for you. So first, let's start with an independent journey. As an independent surrogate, it's super important to make sure you meet those requirements because that gives you validation that you can kind of move forward to the next step, which is matching. And there are multiple ways that you can match. So thankful for social media these days because it would have been harder in the past to just find someone random to be like, oh, can I have your baby for you? But now with social media and matching groups, there's so many different ways that you can meet people to match with, to become a surrogate for. You can become a surrogate for a family or a friend that you know that are struggling with infertility and they are pursuing surrogacy as means to adding to their family, or there are match groups. So I actually created one in the link in my bio on all my platforms. If you go there, I think you scroll down to the bottom, there's a match group on Facebook that I created that just kind of helps build some connections. I've had several couples message me and say, thank you so much for the match group. I matched and they've transferred and they're in the journey right now and it's so cool. Actually, I think one just delivered. I don't know, it's awesome just to help facilitate that matching process and to like be a part of something like that. So it's super cool. There's other ones too that are great on there as well that for our very first journey, that's how we met our couple, which was just a few hours north of us. Such a great way to meet people. And so after meeting those requirements, it would be kind of matching. I may do an episode all about matching because I feel like I could go in depth about that. Maybe I'll just go into it now. So with matching independently, I'm just gonna give the example of first for family or friends. Someone asked me the other day, hey, I have a family or friend who I think should do surrogacy. How should I bring it up to them? And I was like, be very cautious because those going through infertility, it's a very emotional, hard place to be. And they have a path in mind that they want to choose for themselves or that doctors are encouraging them to take on adding to their family. And it may not include surrogacy. Surrogacy is not for everyone. It's not an answer for infertility. It's another option to adding to their family. But someone with low egg reserve or no embryos may not want to do surrogacy. They may want to do adoption or they may want to carry themselves and do their own IUI, IVF process. And so it's very hard. You have to kind of tread carefully through something like that you say it or maybe suggest it in a very respectful way, like bring something up rather than saying, hey, you need to do surrogacy, I'll be your surrogate type of thing. With some people, it may not matter, but just be very careful on kind of like how you mention that, how you go about that. But with matching with someone on a Facebook group, there are Facebook groups specifically for matching. And so what I did the couple times I posted in the group was, hey, my name is Samantha. I'm a GC, which is gestational carrier looking for a set of intended parents. And at this point, like you meet the requirements, you are deemed a like aspiring surrogate. Like I aspire to be a surrogate. And that's usually what people will say in their caption or their comment. I just said, I'm looking for this, and this. Here's some pictures of my family. I would go independent or with an agency. If you have surrogacy friendly insurance, you just kind of put a few of your desires in that caption. Then intended parents will just comment to your post or message you, and that is one way you can match. So once you've officially matched with someone, your journey has started. Now you're still considered, I feel, an aspiring surrogate until you are medically cleared. cleared. So usually for an independent journey, after you match, that couple is typically already working with a fertility clinic. And so you plan to meet with their fertility doctor, you send medical records, they look over your medical records to make sure your past records, past pregnancies, everything looks good. Once everything looks good, then they'll do a medical screening, which is a saline ultrasound. They put a little bit of saline in your uterus and look around at your fallopian tubes, your ovaries, or not your fallopian tubes, your ovaries and your uterus, just to make sure once again you're clear, everything looks good. And once you're medically cleared, at that point, that is when you are considered a surrogate. Now you still have to go through all the transfer process, medication and everything. When you talk about becoming a surrogate and being a surrogate, it's kind of that process of matching and medical approval. Now with an independent journey, at times they still do a background check and you still have psych screening with that medical clearance. And so you still have to pass those. With the independent journey, you don't work with an agency and they don't facilitate that. You facilitate all of that on your own. And I think I'm gonna do a longer episode on an independent journey and kind of how to find attorneys, how to find psychologists to work with you, because with an agency, they suggest all that and they have the people they work with that they can refer you to and all that. But as an independent surrogate, you have to do all of that on your own. So you kind of have to be prepared for that. Anyways, let's move on to becoming a surrogate through an agency. So I mentioned in one of my previous videos, and I talk about all the time on Instagram, I am with Your Fertility Advocate and I love them. They're amazing. There's multiple great agencies out there, but there's also a lot of not great ones who don't care as much about their surrogates, about their intended parents. It's more about the business side of the agency. We're in a world of business, so okay, but you have to care about your people. And so make sure you just do your work on what agency you're with. There's, like I said, dozens of good ones out there, and getting referrals or asking around to other surrogates is a great way to make sure you are with a great agency or you're moving forward with another one. So with Your Fertility Advocate, they have a 5-minute quiz that you take to see if you meet those requirements to become a surrogate, to see if surrogacy would be the right path for you. They ask about your past pregnancies, were you high risk, and just to get a feel and to quickly tell you if you should move forward. Once you pass that 5-minute quiz to see if you meet the requirements, you move on to an application process where they ask you about your lifestyle, your family, your health history, and even your personality, just to get to know you a little bit more, what you're looking for in a journey, what's your life like, and yeah, just to get to know you more. After that, you do an interview with, I think, like an intake coordinator or the owner at the agency, just to talk about the process, get to know you more, and to see what your desires are. And this is a great time for you to ask questions. If you have questions about surrogacy or about the journey, the process, or about transfer, or about matching, whatever questions you have, bring them forward at this time. And then you'll move forward and do a background check just to check your history. And then you'll do the medical exam or medical clearance, which is that saline ultrasound. They also do some blood work just to check your suitability for surrogacy to make sure you're a good candidate. And then they'll move you forward to talking with a fertility doctor, again, to talk about your records, to talk about your past pregnancies, your deliveries. It's a lot of steps, but just they want to make sure you're the best candidate possible for a journey like this. And then the last step to becoming a surrogate through an agency would be that psychological test, that interview. Every psychologist is different. At times you do a personality test. It's called the PAI test, or sometimes it's just an interview, which is typically done over video, especially these days, to have it virtual and you can have your psychologist in a different state that you are. But just to make sure you are mentally and emotionally prepared for a journey like this. I think sometimes people may go into it and not really understand what's fully required of them or not be fully mentally and emotionally prepared. So many questions about how can you separate emotionally from the baby at the end of the journey? How can you handle giving up the baby? And someone has to fully understand and know how to process that part of a journey before getting into it, because you just don't want any emotional, mental issues in the journey, which can happen. It happens. But when you chat with a psychologist, they, will deem you, hey, you're ready, or hey, we notice some things that maybe they're not ready for. And so that's how you, quote, become a surrogate through an agency. At that point, once you passed all of that, passed your testing, background check, your records, your requirements, then you move on to matching and you are a surrogate at that point, about to match. So there's multiple directions you can go. You can become a surrogate through an agency or independently. Both I just explained to you of how to become a surrogate. So I've talked to you about the requirements, the process of becoming a surrogate, getting medically, emotionally, mentally cleared. And then from that point, you start your journey of matching and transfer. And at that point, that's where you will come up with like a plan for surrogacy. What are your desires? What are you looking for out of a journey? Who are you wanting to match with? Are you okay with carrying multiples? This gives you a guide of what your journey, what you would like your journey to look like. Now it could be different, but it gives you a starting place. And in the coming weeks, I'm super excited to talk to you about the contract side of surrogacy, the legal requirements, legal representation, and how that all works, because you guys are asking about what should I include in my contracts. I'm moving into that. What do I need to have? What do you wish you had in it? And it's more than just like a 2-answer question. So I want to explain it more. So stay tuned for that. And if you don't already, you can follow me on all platforms at We Are Dane and Sam. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this video to stay updated on everything we're doing, to stay updated on our journey and all the advice and insight I'm able to share. And if you're looking for an agency, down in the description or link in my bio, it says Become a Surrogate, and you can click there and take that 5-minute quiz to see if you meet those requirements. And if you watch this journey and you are becoming a surrogate, I'm excited for you. I'm cheering you on, and I hope your journey goes so well.